All right, welcome back. Kim Jong Un attending a ceremony today for his father, Kim Jong Il, who died 10 years ago today. The grand ceremony and observance here included a 21-gun salute and a very somber Kim Jr. there. He also witnessed a lot of pomp and circumstances, as you'd expect from a day like today. But the ceremony comes at a dangerous moment for North Korea. Chinese President Xi Jinping also facing destabilizing forces from within, so he's desperately seeking friendship in all the wrong places. Xi is working with Russian President Vladimir Putin, which is odd, of course, if you know these two leaders. They know they can't trust each other, but they're working together anyway. There's also talk of a CCP-backed coup to topple Kim's regime. So now is the time for flexing. Kim Jong Un wants to look tough as well, so that's what dictators do, of course. And if you're Kim and you need the world to know you mean business, what are your options? Well, here's one. North Korea has reportedly executed at least 7 people in the past decade for watching or selling Korean pop music videos. These executions were reportedly sometimes done in public as a warning to others, and relatives of those put to death were also often faced with the fact they had to witness these deadly punishments. That's what's going on in North Korea. Or how about this? North Koreans have also been banned from laughing or drinking for 11 days to mark the 10th anniversary of Kim Jong Il's death. Government authorities have also ordered the public to not show any signs of happiness, no smiling, while this commemoration is ongoing. Joining us now to talk about this is Gordon Chang, author of The Great U.S.-China Tech War and the Coming Collapse of China. Gordon, there is nothing to smile about today in North Korea, is there?
No, and the big issue, John, is the famine. This famine appears to be worse than the one in the mid-1990s. In the mid-1990s, perhaps as many as 3.5 million North Koreans perished from lack of food, and that's about 10% of the population. This time, it looks to be even worse, and so therefore the regime right now is in a panic.
You know, we had talked previously about the fact that China was starting to strip some power away from the power plants that they built in North Korea here. We also had this article that I wanted to bring back up, Gordon, from the Financial Times, which talks about the fears inside North Korea that there might be a Chinese-led coup to topple Kim Jong Un's regime. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I don't actually believe that the Chinese would be willing to do that. And there's a couple of reasons. First of all, China is now fighting with the United States and with much of the rest of the international community, even Lithuania. So Beijing needs all the friends it can get. North Korea is China's only formal military ally. And although the Chinese really don't like the North Koreans, they're frustrated with them, there's just no reason right now for Xi Jinping to pick up another enemy. So I don't think that that's actually the case. But these two regimes really don't get along, of course, China and North Korea.
Yeah, there's a quote in there, and it talks about, you know, they consider Japan the 100-year enemy, North Korea does, but China is the 1,000-year enemy. And we always have to kind of, you know, recalculate our own timescales here in this country because it's such a short timescale. In Asia, it's much longer, of course. But what do you make of that statement in the history between these two countries, China and North Korea, and the tensions there?
Yeah, well, the Koreans abhor the Chinese. Probably hate is even a better word. And you got to remember that this border between Korea and China has shifted hundreds of miles in both directions because of warfare. And there are many ethnic Koreans who actually are citizens of the People's Republic of China because China has grabbed Korean territory. But there's one thing that analysts forget, and that is although there's a lot of animosity between the Koreans and the Chinese, nonetheless, North Korea will do what China wants when China really wants the North Koreans to do something. And we learned that in 2018 and 2019, when Kim Jong Un made 4 straight trips to Chinese soil, and Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, didn't go to North Korea until after that. So that shows the power relationship. When China really wants something, it pulls the string and it gets it, even though the Koreans just hate the Chinese.
You know, something else too, Gordon, if we can put the video back up of Kim Jong Un from today, he looks old. I mean, he looks like he's aged a lot in the last, you know, that's obviously President Xi there, but if we have the video from the ceremony in North Korea today, he's obviously frowning, but he looks like he's aged a lot in the last year or so.
Yes, well, South Korean intelligence estimates that he lost 44 pounds. And we don't know the reason for that, whether that was intentional or whether the result of disease. But we also know that Kim Jong Un has been afflicted with diabetes. He probably has some heart ailments of certain sorts because there have been indications that he's got a stent. So clearly he's not in good health.
All right, Gordon Chang, always dangerous considering when you have a dictatorial regime like that, one of these despots, you have stability now, kind of, a semblance of stability, but what comes next if there is any kind of big changes in either North Korea or China? We're watching it closely. Gordon Chang, thanks so much.
Thank you, John.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.